Alright, we're starting this a little bit early, but what's up everyone? Shampoo Central here, welcome back to the stream, and we are live here waiting for the first polls to close in Tennessee. So, let's start. We're getting polls closed any second now. So, it started about 30 seconds early. Polls have officially closed. So, before we start getting results, let's start going over very important counties. Well, my marker won't turn on. Seems like I probably have to re-roll this tab. There it is, but oh well. All right. Stream is a little laggy. All right, so we should be fine now. So joining us now is Dante from the podcast Tuning Out the Static. I'm not the podcast, the blog, and he joins us now.
Hey there,
All
how you doing?
right.
It is 5 past here on the East Coast, and we
So,
are waiting for early results.
welcome back, Dante. So we are
Oh, we just got our
ready
first result.
for your first results.
It just popped up. They should pop up for you in just a second if they haven't. Let me quickly look into benchmarks. Oh, we got a few
All
results
right.
actually.
Whoa, pretty solid start.
So these are early ballots. We expect these to be early votes.
Okay,
So if
we
these are
got Wayne County. We got 43% in. Matt Van Epps leads 79-20 in Wayne County, and in Stewart, Van Epps leads 67-26.
yeah, so these are the early votes. My early take on these is that if these are the early votes, based on what we'd expect, this is probably not enough of an overperformance for Ben to win. And yeah, a bunch of counties are reporting their early votes. They're all redder counties. Perry. I'm checking out, benchmarks for some of these are actually notable. Like in Perry, the benchmark was a 24%, and she's at 29%. So that's like a notable performance. But if you look at a place like Houston County, the benchmark for her was like 30%. She's currently at 31. We'd expect that to go down as early as late votes are reported. Now, of course, the counties that we're really looking at for Ben, the places where she is expected to be strongest, Davidson, which is this area just outside of stretching into Nashville. She needs a big margin there. The other county to watch in this race that will be critical is going to be Montgomery County. Hold up a second. That is. On my back. So it's this one up here, northern part of the state. um, so that's a red leaning county. Like it's quite red, but it's one of those places where you look at it and it's like it's a R+22 district. In order to win this seat, she's probably going to need to flip a red county. Montgomery would make a lot of sense as the county that she flips. I'm very sorry. I don't know what happened to Andy. He appears to have gone off stream. I know he's been having some bugs. Unfortunately, I can't show the map. I don't have screen share enabled as I'm just a guest. But I will continue to share results as they come in. So right now we have 4 counties reporting their early votes. We got Stewart County, Houston County, Perry County, and Wayne County. All of these are expected to be red-leaning districts. I'm using a benchmark here from created by Zachary Donini at Zachary Donini on X or Twitter. He works at VoteHub. He's the head of data science from VoteHub. He's created a good list of benchmarks based on what each candidate would need for a tied race. So that's what I'm referring to. I'm watching to see if Democrats overperform their goal, if Republicans overperform theirs. Right now, we just got another county in, Benton County, once again, deep red territory as expected. So right now,
and I also got the benchmarks up from me right now in a Google sheet. So Benton, she's getting 25, which she needs probably.
Yeah, the expectation there was like 26. The benchmark there was
Oh,
26.4. So again, yeah, a little bit of an underperformance. And again, we expect all these to be early votes. So far, outside of Perry County, she's running a bit behind where we'd expect. Now, we don't know exactly what election day votes are going to look like, but now, of course, I should notice that all of this is done a bit in context of the fact that this is expected to be a close special election. If we go to if we compare this to 2024, she is overperforming. She might very well end up overperforming in a lot of these counties. We'll have to see, but like Stewart County right now, 67-26. In 2024, Mark Green won there 79-18. So that would be 41. That'd be like a double. That'd be a double-digit overperformance. I don't know the exact math off the top of my head. So we kind of have to keep that in mind. We're like expecting this to be a close race, and that's why So all of these a lot. So not all of these are going to be enough overperformances to win by any means, but
exactly. So what Kornacki, I was listening to Kornacki earlier. He was talking about Davidson. This part of the district, Harris won 68 to 30. And we just got all right. We got Cheatham County, District 7, 60-40, basically. 60-39.
So in 2024, I'm using the House results because I don't have the county results for the presidency pulled up here, but I should have those up at some point. In 2024, Cheatham was 70-27 for Mark Green. So again, we see a double-digit overperformance. Right now, if you asked me, she is on pace for a strong overperformance. I don't think she's running the table enough to win right now, though. You can't call it, you obviously cannot call it, and we have to see the critical counties before we can make any determinations. Right now, though, it's kind of a tracking with where we'd expect. Strong overperformance, but for Ben, probably not going to be enough to pull it over unless election day turnout is not what we expect it to be, which we'll have to wait and see.
Although we're right now looking in Cheatham County, she is overperforming her benchmark right now by about 2 points. Her benchmark was 67. She's getting 69. I'm not 67. 37. She's getting 39. So that is some good stuff there for her there, but again, we do not know what early day, and we got more here. We got Hickman 70-28, and she needed a run. All right, she's actually getting what she needs there in Hickman. Good news for her. She's getting what she needs in Hickman. And there we go.
Here we go, the big county, Montgomery, and it really moves her up. And as we expected, she's probably going to need to win Montgomery. She leads there 51-48 in the early votes. This was 58-40 for Trump in 2020. So big overperformance there. Big Trump County, Trump plus 18, currently Ben plus 3. Now, of course, we were talking about we spent a lot of time talking about benchmarks. Based on what I can see, this was the benchmark for Montgomery was about 51-48. So she's kind of right there. So an election day shift there could be a problem for her. How much is that election day shift going to look? We'll have to see. But kind of what we expected, a strong early performance in Montgomery County.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is where Clarksville is a college town, Middle Tennessee. I think it's where that's at. Middle Tennessee State is there.
Let me quickly check. I believe you're right. You are right. It's not Middle Tennessee. It's Austin, PA State.
Oh, all right. But again, big vote is supposed to be in Nashville. Harris won that part of Davidson 68-30. So, and I think Bain needs upwards of 80 to potentially win this race. So we'll see what happens. But So you probably need somewhere in the 80s in Davidson.
Yeah, let's see so NYT just dropped their first estimate for this race, and it is R+3. So again, we have to pay attention to
I
the election day dynamics.
yeah.
The big thing to watch now is Davidson County, because if this is the only blue county in the district. I know Montgomery is blue right now. We'll see if it stays that way or not as the election day votes come in. But that's not traditionally a blue county. Again, that was Trump plus 18. That's a county that's only really in play right now. Is I think another rural county just dropped some votes because I saw Van App's margin jump. Ooh, my fault there.
Oh,
It's only
and
competitive
there
because
goes
of
some
the
more
special.
votes.
So Davidson is where we're going to be needing to watch. Now, because Davidson is kind of only partly in this district, I'm not going to use the presidential margin here because I don't know what it was in this district in the county. But in the House election,
Well,
Mark Green lost to
Kornacki
67-30. What Kornacki say? Because he probably does know.
He said it was 68-30 Harris in this district, in this Davidson part.
Okay. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to him when I came on.
You can also watch for Williamson. This is also quite red. It's even redder than Montgomery, but it is a lot of votes. So Williamson's a place where she'd probably want to have a solid overperformance if she were going to win this race.
And here comes Dixon. We got her at 62-37. I think this is the fourth biggest vote area in the district. So he's getting 62, and her benchmark is 34. Let's just say 34. She's getting 37 right now. So
I gotta say, there's a dude posting online right now who you maybe have heard of, John Kubelin. He's a political strategist in Louisiana. He's pretty smart. He runs a JMC Analytics, which used to do polling. I haven't seen them poll in a while, and I'm wondering if they only do Louisiana now. So I'm not saying he's a Tennessee expert, but he is Republican leaning. He is generally known to be, not necessarily MAGA or insane or anything. I trust this guy. I think he's a good actor, even if he's a bit partisan. A lot of his benchmarks, because everyone has different benchmarks, he isn't super impressed with the Republican performance right now. Some of it's borderline, some of it's kind of toss up, he says, but a few of his benchmarks, he has Republicans underperforming by a fair amount, and he's not super impressed. So he's not calling anything, he's not saying he's not making any projections. But there is a general vibe right now that this is not Republicans are still on track to win, but this is on track to get a little bit in the uncomfortable territory. But again, we only have one of the three biggest counties in the district is reporting, and Davidson at this point might be the most important county. She needs strong turnout and she needs a big margin. She probably needs around 70, certainly 75 plus. I would say
yeah, I was saying
probably needs to be close to 80.
Yeah, I said
think our
somewhere
benchmark
in the
had
80s.
78.
Yeah, benchmark is 78.
But considering that
I say she probably needs somewhere in the 80s.
Yeah, considering that she's running behind that benchmark a tiny bit in some of the rural counties, and it's close, but it is a tiny bit, she probably does need to be in the 80s, I would say, if she wants to win, of course. At this point, if she wants to get it close, NYT says 2.9 for ours. It feels like this is going to be pretty close. It feels like we might be here for a little bit, so, buckle in.
Mm-hmm. We also have Jersey City, mayoral race. We'll touch on that a little bit later on. But obviously, we're here watching Tennessee, 7th District. We got about 28% in, and Bain is doing pretty solid so far. Obviously, she is not hitting her benchmark in some of the rural West Tennessee counties in this district, but she is in benchmarks in Cheatham and Montgomery. So we're just wait. We probably need to see what happens in Williamson and in Davidson to see what really is going on here. so far from what I've seen, she's currently outrunning the benchmark here, but she's underrunning out here. So
So I
that's
looked
what
at
we're seeing here.
just looked
26% in.
at Zach Donini, who we've been citing a lot tonight. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. His tweet, his most recent tweet. Ben is overperforming enough overall when you take into every single one of them into account, because we've said she's underperforming in some, but she is overperforming her benchmarks at others, and it's just early votes. Ben is overperforming enough in the rural counties to keep this competitive. The big unknown is how today's election day turnout broke in Nashville, which is Davidson, where we don't have results yet. We don't even have early votes there yet, versus the rural areas. Obviously, we know that the Republicans have spent a lot of money on this race. Trump tele-rallies, Mike Johnson was in the district. There was a huge push from Republicans in the final days of this race to push, to push Van Epps over the finish line. Where does this work? Do they get the big turnout in the rural counties that we're looking for? We were talking about maybe the snow impacts. It seems like turnout was fine. It doesn't seem like there was a lot of snow. It seems like overall things went okay. It could very well come down to those turnouts. We know Nashville, regardless of election day, early vote, it's going to be blue. It's going to put it out there. What do the rural counties look like? Where's the turnout there? Yeah, but this is tracking towards being pretty close as we currently speak.
Yeah, we might be here a while. Usually we usually know within an hour how things are going. Well, that was with our experience with Florida earlier this year. I was covering. You were only here for Wisconsin that night, but results came very quickly in Florida. But I don't think Tennessee works that fast. We've only gotten 26% in. It's been 20 minutes. So we'll see what happens, but we may be in for a long night. But if you want some sort of a comparison from tonight to Florida, watch Franklin. No, not Franklin. We gotta watch Montgomery, because if Montgomery's blue enough, like Pensacola, Escambia County, Florida, both of these counties were flips, or currently to be on flips. However, Valemont in Florida did not win Escambia enough to win it. Bang right now is getting her benchmark in Montgomery to win it. We'll see what happens. But as of right now, it's looking very good for her in Montgomery. It's looking good for her in Chatham and in Davidson, but it's not looking good for her in rural areas. She just gained some votes. Don't know where, but it's still not looking good for her rural western parts of this district.
The biggest issue for Ben right now is that most of these are early votes, and we expect it to be a red shift in the E-Day. That's really kind of at this point our biggest, because if it held like this, she is doing enough to win right now if it currently held. It's just that we expect things to get redder, and I feel like in Montgomery she would have wanted a bigger cushion than 3 points. Just thinking out loud. But of course, I will add, we don't know how much redder it's going to be. We don't know if it's going to be crazy. And I think people are already calling it for James Solomon in Jersey City. So Jim McGreevy's comeback bid. Hometown. Man, I wish they pulled Elise Stefanik out of Congress, because that special election would have been something.
Yeah, that would have been like probably could have been like tonight. But we know what's like in New York.
I'm still confused as to why Republicans didn't just hold this on election day. It feels like that would have helped.
Yeah, but also it could have helped Democrats, since obviously we were here exactly a month ago, and we saw a blue wave practically. So yeah, I still understand why Republicans should have, but again, would it have backfired and actually gave Bain actually what she probably needed, more of E-Day in Nashville? That's It's a double-edged sword if you think of it. Like, you could boost your turnout, also you could boost theirs, like in Nashville and in Clarksville and in Franklin.
Someone on Twitter noted about 7 minutes ago, so this could have changed, but we actually haven't had any new votes in a while. Current counties in were Blackburn plus 18.6 in 2018. And as I told you earlier, she won the district by 0.5. Currently, the early vote in these counties is Van Epps plus 16. So, as I said, based on the counties we have in so far, based on the early votes, Ben is in position if it continues to win. But she's going to need E-Day votes to not to skew at the time, like a tiny bit redder, like just the tiniest bit, you know. And she's yeah, as I said, kind of the same thing I've been saying. So I won't repeat myself too much, but
So it is looking good for her to maybe match Bredesen.
she has a shot.
And the latest estimate has actually improved for her. It went from 3 points to 2.9. But again, that's not much considering. But again,
I mean, at the end of the day, even Phil
we
Bredesen,
still have,
who is the strongest recruit Democrats could have had in this district, in the seat lost. So you know.
yeah. I forgot what poll it was, but it had band only down 2, and it it's I'm wondering, could it actually be exactly 2 points, and they actually get the race exact? Like, it's very possible that could happen, or it could have a bang win of about a point, or it could have Van Epps up by 3 or 6.
We get a revitalization of the reputation of Emerson County, of Emerson polling.
The Des Moines Register says that this is going to be D+2. All right, so let me go over some of these big areas. So obviously, Montgomery County, the biggest county in the district. So Bain leading by 3 points. So he's getting 51-48. Her benchmark is in Montgomery 52-48. So she is getting, I don't know how close it is to 52, but I mean, he's at 48, which is, again, his benchmark. So we do not know what's going on. And then in Stewart, he's getting 67, 26. C is getting what C needs in Stewart, but he's also 67-26. He's getting more than what he needed, but she's getting her benchmark as well. So don't know how to interpret that. In Houston, it's 68.31. Again, C's getting more than her benchmark, but he's getting more than his benchmark. So I just do not know how to interpret some of that.
I mean, there's mixed, there's overall mixed data. I'm just at this point just waiting for Davidson and also Williamson. And you know what? There's actually only 3 counties that haven't reported votes yet, so let's just throw Robertson in there. We're waiting for all 3 of them.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna throw Robertson's. Her benchmark is 64.4. So around 65%, I say, is her benchmark, and Robert 35% is her benchmark in Robertson. He needs about 66 in Robertson here. And then in Davidson, like we said, benchmark said 878, but I think you need to be somewhere in the 80s. And then the benchmarks they say for Williamson 46, and we haven't gotten anything there for there, so we'll just have to wait and see. Whoa. Almost had a disaster there. Oh, here's something, Dante. Apparently, college precinct turnout has exceeded 2024 turnout in Davidson County.
I believe I saw that. We'll have to actually get results just to figure out what it means, honestly, is my kind of take there. But I did see that.
So the benchmarks we use, another benchmark we got from Inside Elections. We've been using the Vote Hub ones. So he said that Bay needs to win by around 10 points in Montgomery to win, but again, I don't know. And then Adam Carlson says, this is what we're looking at. So
and there she goes into the lead because of where did we say it was going to be? Davidson
it's
County,
Davidson.
85,
All right.
85-16, which is
Oh,
far beyond what you need.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, big overperformance. One of her bigger overperformances, as we said, I think we said 78 in the benchmarks. Now, of course, we did say we thought she needed to do a little bit better than 78, to account for the fact that she wasn't necessarily running where she needed to be in the rural counties. But like, again, we'll have to wait and see what election day turnout looks like, both turnout and margin. But that is a big overperformance that really kind of shifts how you think about this race for a little bit. Of course, we're still waiting for Williamson. That county should really help. Should help Van Epps narrow this margin down quite a bit. Ben doesn't
Yeah,
need to
but
win Williamson County. It's not as essential to her path as Montgomery is at all. But it almost certainly needs to be much closer than it was in 2020, 2024.
and here comes Robertson, and he gets 67% there.
Let's see, Green 73.
And I believe.
Just for the record, Williamson is like suburban, like exurban, like college educated type stuff.
So and that I forgot the name of the county, but it's exactly north of Atlanta. It's not Fayette, but it's a county north of Atlanta. You know what I'm talking about. Like, it was Ruby Red.
Forsyth?
Yeah, Forsyth. Yeah. So, Robertson, she needed in Robertson 34, and she's getting 32. So, a little underperformance there.
Yeah, that was an absolute nuke from Davidson County. My goodness. Although NYT estimate has actually gone up to 3.3, so that's a little bit of an upgrade for Van Epps from a minute ago. I have seen some reports that she's not doing great in a lot of the election. We still have very little election day in, but it does seem like she has not done all that well in the election day that's been reported. So we'll continue to wait and see. It's very little so far, but that might be what's caused that shift. But the Davidson result is very good for her. We'll see what happens in the election day votes. But I think we've got a race here for sure.
It's going to be a long night.
Of course, now all eyes shift to Williamson as the only county that has not reported, and as a county where she is going to need to put up a strong performance.
If she's leading Williamson, when the first
I don't think that would happen. She's only leading Montgomery by 3 after early votes. Williamson is significantly redder than Montgomery. That would require some like weird local idiosyncrasies that we just have not heard about. So yeah, I wouldn't put that on the table. I know I've been like hyping it up because it's a pretty sizable county where she's going to need to get maybe like 45 plus to win. But Williamson is not like, if she wins this race, it will be off the backs of Davidson and Montgomery.
We just got to see what her, if he ends up winning Montgomery, then I think it's game over. But again, absolute nuke to start here for Davidson. Damn. All right. And we're still getting more rural areas here. All right, Perry's close to 80% in, and it's 75-24. And if that'll be about a point overperform over her benchmark if that does end up holding. But again, Perry is almost in.
Yeah, it's based on what everything I'm seeing. Election day vote in rural counties has still a lot out there, but has not been good for Ben at all. Like, has been really rough. I think that might be where the NYT move came from. And honestly, I think Davidson right now is saving that from being worse. But again, we don't know what the turnout's going to look like in Davidson, so that could end up helping her. That could end up coming back to help her. But right now, it seems like her election day vote in the rural counties is about as rough as we thought it could be. But we're still here, still and watching a race. But you keep seeing Van Epps like gain back little by little. That's why. It's election day votes coming in from the rural counties.
Actually, with those rural votes coming in, New York Times has dropped it to 3.2%.
Yeah, that's like a 0.1 margin.
Yeah. I mean, if Perry finishes with her at her benchmark, that could be solid for her. But that, again, is very rural areas.
Seems like Robinson went decent for Republicans. Is all thing. It was the last county to report, so it's like I don't know, not a lot of commentary. It seems like that one went pretty okay. Not like incredibly for them or anything, but like it seems like Van Epps did all right there. Just kind of waiting on Williamson right now.
Again, her
Oh yeah, this election day vote continues to be brutal for her. First election day vote in Perry County just reported. Not all of it, but just what was just reported. The early vote shifted 26 points to the right. The election day vote was a 26 point to the right from the early day vote.
Ooh.
Yeah, that is. Again, we thought Republicans are going to turn out their voters. They put it all in all the stops over the last 2 days to turn out their voters. We're going to have to continue watching for election day turnout in Montgomery County and election day turnout in especially Davidson County. Turnout, margin, shift, etc.
If Democrats did get out the vote and say Davidson, that would be huge for her. Like, if we remember a month ago, her election day vote in like Virginia and New Jersey and the DC suburbs and in the New York suburbs were very good for Democrats on election day back a month ago. So we'll see what happens in Davidson. So I mean, very early still, but if you're a Democrat, you're just hoping that Davidson really holds up here. New York Times is expecting it to be a 61-point margin of victory for Bain there. They're expecting a 2-point win in Montgomery. So, again, we'll see what happens, but
I mean, it's going to come down to
I think especially in Davidson.
It's going to be the turnout dynamics. It's also like, I feel like we haven't noted this yet because it's probably not going to be that important, but there are 4 independent candidates in the race, currently receiving about 1.2% of the vote. We're talking about a race where that I don't think it's going to matter, but it could end up mattering.
Yeah, and I don't think they received any votes in Davidson because it's still 85 to 15, which is 100%.
Yeah, I know what the deal is there.
So don't think they were.
I mean,
I don't think
they probably received
had.
like, I mean, they might have received like point, 00, because MIT rounds stuff for this. What are they doing in Williamson County?
I think Bang could have done better if this was in the fifth, so Ogles' seat. Like again, if it was Ogles' seat, it would have been a different story, probably.
Yeah, so this E-Day vote is aggressively against her in the rolls. This could very much come down to specifically Davidson County and what the E-Day vote looks like there.
Right now, she is getting 85%. I still think she probably needs to be in the 80s to win at this point. Oh, more Rovo keeps coming in.
MIT now estimating 3.3 again.
Oh, wow. More vote keeps coming in. He just keeps chopping it up.
Yeah, no, the rural E-Days have been rough for her. It's very clear that the Republican push here worked in the rural districts. They got their voters out.
Yeah, but the Democrat need this post Nashville. Really. Again, see, it's still a pretty well possibility that even if he loses, he could be pretty much in reach of Bredesen's 2018 margins here.
MIT now up to 3.7. This rural E-Day vote is like destroying her. I mean, this is like, yeah. She's starting to slip behind in a lot of her benchmarks where she was pushing. Although we continue to wait for Williamson.
What do we think she needs Williamson? Maybe like
The
45?
benchmark was like 46.54, maybe 47.53. A loss for her.
Ooh. Ooh. So I saw this tweet that's from Adam Carlson. How I'm looking at results in Tennessee 7.
David Wasserman has spoken. He says signs overall still pointing to a single-digit Van Epps win. Obviously, single digit could mean a lot. There's going to be a big difference in the perception if this is like within 4 points versus whether this is like 9 points.
So Adam Carlson has said that how he's looking at it, if a Van Epps plus 13 plus point plus win, it's a yuck.
Oh wait,
Van
sorry.
Epps
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we have 2 counties that are fully in.
All right.
Oh, he just got a big increase, 0.5. Williamson at this point, I would say, is almost certainly going to evaporate her lead, and then it's really all going to be eyes on Davidson. But Decatur is fully in. Decatur, I can't say it. 79-20, which
Decatur.
is Decatur. Thank you. 79-20. Where is that on the 20? That was 84-15 in 2024 for Trump. Perry, that was 84, also 84-15 in 2020 for Trump. And in Perry, she finished 75-23. So 2 over performances, but probably not big enough over performances to actually flip this seat. Again, a lot of this comes down to Davidson and where the Williamson County ends up. But yeah. It's not like it's certainly not terrible by any means, but it's also it would not be enough to win, you know. And NYT has now gone up to R plus 4.1, so they're very much like buying in on this election day turnout. What's up, man?
Oh, are you gonna call?
Yeah, I was on a call.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You can come in. It wasn't important.
I was gonna bug with you for the intro.
You want to talk with me for a bit?
Yeah.
All right, so Bain's margin continues to decrease. Carlson has basically put it best here for his margin. Van Epps 13 plus win. It's a yuck, which is bad 9 for them. Van Epps 10-12, disappointing but understandable. A 5 to 9 point win for Van Epps, very impressive performance for Bain. The Van Epps win by 0.4. Holy crap. And then Bain wins Blue Wave. And okay, here is Williamson. 55-44. So that's pretty good for her, but I don't think it's good enough, unfortunately, for her. are still waiting on Davidson and Montgomery to come back in. And Wayne County's done. Absolute brutally they results were down in rural areas. She has gotten below her benchmark in all three completed counties in the rural areas of this district, down towards Tennessee and west, and now towards Alabama, and then to the west. So absolute brutal eBay margins down there in rural counties. Whoa! What just came in? Williamson coming in big now. Wow. Okay, this is starting to look bad. This is looking very brutal now for her down there in Williamson. This is. And Clark, see, Van Epps now leads in Clark. Montgomery. I think this is game over right now. I think this is pretty much game over. The pretty much game over. She needed to win Clarksville. She's now in Montgomery County. She's trailing by 4. She needed to get within 10 in Williamson. She's trailing by 19. Just a brutal E-Day vote for her. Republicans did a good job getting their base out. I just don't think Democrats just did well. And here's more votes. Just brutal eBay votes, man, for her. But she is overperforming a lot, by a lot in some of these counties. Oh, so Benton and Houston are done. A 9 and 12 points, just respectfully. Pretty good performance there. At the end of the day, not enough, but still a very impressive performance out here. There's a very red area. Republicans called in the cavalry, so instead of it being like a 2-point win for them, it's going to be like a 6-point win. I think we can project that Matt Van Epps is going to Congress and will probably be sworn in tomorrow. But a huge victory for Dems in the moral in front because this incredible. This wow. This still very big flips in those two counties too. And there is Nashville. This list is over, but think this race is over, and we got more votes. $60-40 in Williamson. It's about a 7-point lead now in this district. No, wait, no, it's 6 points. My bad. So we're waiting for the official call here. But pretty decent overperformance. Some Democrats may be disappointed, but still an insane overperformance. Look at these shifts. 7, 9, 9, 12, 15. So far is he? If you're just rounding it up, it's about so far a 10-point Democrat overperformance. So based on these counties alone, has been a 10-point overperformance for Democrats. You're gonna get a call soon, but an absolute pretty solid performance here for Democrats, all things considered. He keeps gaining. Four-point win lead in Montgomery. Whoa, what is drop there? And that's Dixon done. And it's a 12-point shift. So I think this is probably going to be in there around 15-point shift, which in specials this year we've actually seen 15-point shifts, around 15 points. So let's just say this race is over, but we're just waiting for probably a final drop from either final drop here from Davidson. Harris won this part of Davidson 68-30 4 years ago. Not 4 years ago, last November, 13 months ago. If you were here for the Kansas 4 special, this probably has some vibes, same vibes to it. All right, so I think this is going to be the end of the stream, and we got more votes. Never mind. I think that's it for the stream, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a pleasure having you guys here, and I'll be back soon. And Davison just dropped. Davison just dropped another one. And it's done. 80-19. So we are going to get a call on this race soon. But 80-19 in Davidson is the final. And guess what? That is a 25-point shift. Oh, what a night for Bain and Davidson. That's a 25-point shift. Just as I was about to end it, we get the Davidson drop. Still a huge win here. So I think it's done. Waiting. So a very amazing result for Democrats. This would be around a 15-point shift, which is a great result if you're Democrats. If you're after Maine, maybe run in the 5th next year. Bain, I would run against Ogles next year in the 5th, but since it's also Nashville. And more results coming in here. And American County is done. No, it's not. Alright, so I think I'm going to end this one here, folks. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Or not next week, but next time.